Hello, everyone. Welcome to the latest All Sports Betting Podcast Cricket World Cup T20 preview here in Australia. And I'm joined by Kevin Harper. I'm Steve Wyss. And we're going to be talking about Sri Lanka against Namibia. It's the first match of the tournament. And it's going to be starting at 5 a.m. UK time. Local time, I do believe, is going to be a 3 p.m. start. So if you're watching around America, it might be a bit of a late night or a very, very early morning. But it's good. It'd be good to get underway. Not the most, high-profile, tasty affair to start things with, Kev. But I'm sure you're excited. Will you be up for it live?
Yeah, I will actually, Steve. Yeah.
My goodness me. Well, fair play. I don't know if I can. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll set the alarm. I don't know. We'll have to see.
I'll ring you.
I'm probably on pretty silent or something then. But venue and conditions. Right. I'm not going to bring the Google Earth out thing here. That's only going to come out for special occasions. Check the Group A preview show for a little bit more of a geographical look into this venue in Geelong. I've forgotten the name of the stadium, but you're going to fill me in on that one. But I tell you what, I am going to fill you in on is the weather forecast for this game, because there is certainly a chance of some rain. They don't really know what's going to happen. But as you can see here, this is a local site that I've looked at. And 3 p.m., there is a 40% chance of rain, although it does diminish as the evening progresses. So make what you want of that. It looks like the wind speed is going to be around, close to 20 kilometers per hour as well. So whatever there is, it might blow through relatively quickly. Does that, I mean, what are the rules here, Kev, for, how quickly are overs lost if there's rain?
Yeah, you've got half an hour, so 30 minutes leeway. And then any time that's lost after that 30 minutes, you start losing overs. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, did you factor that in for this match? Or are we just kind of presuming, 40%, there's more chance of it not raining than it is?
Yeah. And you said there with the wind as well, hopefully we get it blown through any rain that there is. What I would take into account in this match, though, Steve, is that there's likely to have been rain ahead of the game. So damp conditions are likely.
This stadium in Geelong, we talk about it in the Group A preview show. We think that, certainly down the ground, it's going to be fairly long ground, unless the boundaries are brought in, which I don't think they will be here. Fairly long down the ground, a little bit shorter square of the wicket. It's going to be a dropping wicket as well. But would you imagine it will actually play well because it's a dropping wicket?
I'd be interested to see how it does play, Steve. Obviously, with all the rain that is likely to be around and has been around this area in the lead up to the tournament, they might, it might just be lacking a little bit of preparation. But on the flip side of that, the beauty of this group stage is that both games each day are on the same pitch, at the same ground, on the same wicket. So this wicket's effectively got to last 80 overs, not 40. So you would imagine they'll have put some good work into it in the lead up to it. So it should play well, but let's see it in the ground first, sort of thing.
Sri Lanka are the 1-10 favourites to win this game. You can back Namibia as big as 7-1 to prevail. And if you want to find out more about either team, do check out our outright preview show. The main one is where you're going to get a bit more information on Sri Lanka, and the Group A preview show is also worth checking out. Certainly for Namibia, we've got team individual picks for both teams as well. Sri Lanka, how are they looking heading into this game? Is there any team news? Everyone fit?
Well, first and foremost, Steve, they're heading in full of confidence, aren't they? Just last month, they won the Asia Cup. And usually that tournament could be underplayed a little bit, but not this time. Not when it was a month away from a World T20 series. So that was a really good win. It was probably the first time under Chris Silverwood that they've looked really, really good. And they've managed to get a pretty decent squad together. As I mentioned in the outright preview podcast, Dushmanta Chamira, the pacey fast bowler who went well in the IPL earlier in the season, he's been recovering from injury, but he is in the squad, and all the signs are that he's bowled the required number of overs to be fit and firing in this tournament. So I don't see any issues, certainly with regards to the warm-up game that they played. Everyone that you'd expect to be in the side got a hit out. So yeah, looking good.
And in terms of Namibia, I mean, I would recommend anyone check out the outright preview show, or the Group A preview show, to find out a bit more about them. But briefly, are they going to be the pushovers that some might expect?
No, I don't think so, Steve. I think the second best team in this group. I think everyone in this group will recognise Sri Lanka will win this group. So basically, the other three are looking for 2 wins against the other 2 teams. So in a way, Namibia have got a free hit here, haven't they? So it might make them dangerous.
All right, let's get on to the match bet straight away then. And we've got 3 selections for this game. The first one, we're going to go into the player performance market. Now, this is going to take a little bit of explaining, and there's only certain bookmakers around the world who do offer performance lines. Bet365 are certainly one of them. Might be a couple of us around as well. So unfortunately, there might be some people watching who can't get on the performance bets, but you are going to be taking well, actually, first of all, explain the performance and how you get points for performance in this market.
Yeah, before I do, Steve, just looking at the early markets, we're still 2 days out from the game when we're recording this, but Bet365 have got, without doubt, the most of any bookmaker currently for all of these matches. Now, that might change when we get into the main stage of the group, but right now it's Bet365. So if you can get a Bet365 account, I fully recommend doing that, because there are going to be a lot of these performance bets over the course of the competition. So what's a performance bet? Well, basically, you've got one player to focus on here, not 22. And you collect points for that player as he goes along. So every run your player scores, that's a point. So if your player gets 20 runs, that's 20 points in the bag straight away. Every catch he takes, whether he's a wicketkeeper or whether he's an outfielder, every catch he takes, that's 10 points. So he's got 20 runs and he's got a catch. Now all of a sudden you're up to 30 points. Now if he's a bowler, every wicket he takes, that's 20 points. So he's got 20 runs, he's got a catch, and now he's got a wicket. All of a sudden, that's 50 points. Obviously, bowlers who only bowl were more likely to pick up chunks of 20 points for wickets. Batters who only bat are more likely to pick up runs batting. And if you're on a wicket keeper, stumpings are relevant. In fact, they're extremely relevant, Steve, because you get 25 points for a stumping. The only play in cricket that doesn't go on a player performance, and it annoys me now because it's recorded in all the scorecards, is a run out.
Yeah.
Everything apart from a run out, there's points for, and it counts right throughout the 40 overs of the game. So it's not one innings in particular, both innings, add the score up at the end, and hope that in this case you're you're over the line that we want to be.
And we are on the over 30.5 performance line of Namibian player David Wiese. So just need him to get 31 points combined. And I do believe he's an all-rounder, isn't he? So he can contribute with bat and ball, obviously, in the field as well. And I guess that's one of the main reasons you like this over.
You're going to hear me use the phrase 3D cricketer an awful lot over the next month, Steve. And I absolutely love a performance on a 3D cricketer when the performance line is less than 40. I absolutely love it. And why do I love it? Well, let's say he takes a wicket. That's 20 of it knocked off straight away. So now you're looking for 11 more points. He's still going to have 23 other balls to bowl. He's going to have a full batting innings, and he's got 20 overs to field to pick you up another 11 points in this regard. As it happens, David Wiese is a damn good cricketer. I've explained that in that group preview, but for anyone who hasn't listened to that, he's one of the best franchise cricketers in the world. He's always in demand. He's played in the 100 this season. He's played in the Caribbean Premier League this season. He hasn't played in the IPL, but he's played in the Pakistan Super League, which is a really underrated competition. I'm sure he'll get a gig in the South Africa League that starts in January, and he might even get a big bash contract off the back of some good performances here. He's regularly played for Sussex. He is so experienced at T20 cricket. It is untrue. He's a big hitter of a cricket ball. So he's more than just an all-rounder. He's a really good batter, and he's a reliable bowler. And for Namibia, he's certainly going to bowl his 4 overs. In this fixture, these two played last year in the World Cup, actually, Steve. He opened the bowling. Didn't take a wicket, but he opened the bowling. That was in spin-friendly conditions. These aren't spin-friendly conditions. These are conditions that he should really thrive in. So I fancy they do take a wicket. Then we're looking for 11 runs or a run and a catch. And I really think that he's capable of that. I think he covers this line with an average game. But if he has a really good game with the bat or a really good game with the ball, he'll definitely cover it. So the over, it looks a great bet here.
Okay, so David Wiese performance over 30.5 points there. We're going to go into the top bowler market now, and the Sri Lankan top bowler market for your next selection. And you're going with a lad called Mahesh Theekshana. I think that's how you pronounce it, to be top bowler in this match for Sri Lanka. So basically to take the most wickets when they bowl. Why do you like you in this game? Or is it the price as well, I guess?
Yeah, a little bit of the price. Two reasons why I like him. First and foremost, he's going to bowl right up front with the new ball. I kind of like spin with the new ball in this tournament. I've said before, I don't like spin overall. But while batters are still trying to find their way, get themselves in and things, I think I wouldn't be surprised if a spinner does burgle one. Theekshana had a really good campaign for the Chennai Super Kings earlier in the season. In this fixture last year, he was the leading bowler for Sri Lanka. He took 3 wickets. It's all about Hasaranga for Sri Lanka, but that sometimes helps Theekshana because teams are so hell-bent on not losing their wicket to Hasaranga that they don't score off of him. Well, if you don't score off Hasaranga, you've got to score off someone. So they'll try and score off Theekshana. And if you're trying to score off someone, you're more likely to make a mistake than if you're just trying to block someone out. So he's going to open the bowling. He'll bowl a little bit more in the middle overs. And he's a mystery spinner. I mean, technically he's an off spinner, but he's a wristy off spinner, so he can turn it both ways. These lesser nations, they don't play top quality world class spin very often because there aren't any in the sort of sphere that they usually play their cricket in. And obviously Namibia are one of those. The 2 players who are more established in this Namibia side, Gerard Erasmus and David Wiese, are likely to bat 4 and 6 or 5 and 6. So Theekshana should be bowling at the relatively inexperienced batters. Took 3 wickets last year in the UAE. That was 1 more than Hasaranga. And I see no reason why that can't be repeated. Just make sure when you bet that you follow the rules of the bookmaker that you bet with, because some bookmakers will pay out on a dead heat. Others will pay out if 2 bowlers take the same wickets on the one who concedes the fewest runs. Now, Theekshana is going to bowl 4 overs, and if you tie with someone who only bowls 2 overs, then obviously you're at a disadvantage. So check and make sure that you're going to get paid out for a dead heat, because this is a market that does obviously bring out a lot of dead heats because there's only 4 or 5 bowlers.
And you also need to check the rules, for the bookmaker if there's rain-affected games. For sure, it's definitely worth knowing the small print for cricket betting. Definitely, I mean, it's worth knowing the small print for any sort of betting, isn't it? But certainly in cricket, more than most. We're going to move now to the top batsman market. We're going to have a look at both top batsman markets, but you've only got one selection. It is in the top Sri Lankan batsman market. Who are you going to go with for this game?
Yeah, I'm going with why I keep picking this bloke because I can't say his name, but I'm going to go with him anyway. Rajapaksa. There he is, Bhanuka Rajapaksa.
There he is. Tell us a bit more about him.
The Punjab Kings batter in the Indian Premier League. I like this guy, left-handed, big hitter, middle-order batsman. Can give it a right tonk. If you watch the IPL this season, then you'll have seen that he batted at 3 for the Punjab Kings in that tournament. Really hits a long cricket ball, but where he hits it is which is what interests me. Very square of the wicket player. Actually, if you think of all of the sort of big hitting Sri Lankans of the past, they've all been square of the wicket batters, haven't they? Jayawardene, Dilshan, Jayasuriya, Dilshan, and it's going to be shorter square here in Geelong. So that's a big thing. He top scored in the respective fixture last season between the 2 sides. It was a pretty facile run chase for Sri Lanka. They were only chasing 100, but he scored 42 off 27. He batted 5 then. He may well bat 4 here, and I think that's a big price. I think it's a big price because I think that the Namibia bowling attack is new ball heavy. So batting in the middle order, it wouldn't be a surprise if the sort of openers nicked off a little bit. And I think the top score for Sri Lanka will come from the middle order. And Rajapaksa is as good an option as any, given that he can score quickly. So if he has got a score to catch up with, he can do it.
Bhanuka Rajapaksa, I'm going to call him that. So he's going to be your top batsman selection for this game for Sri Lanka. 13-1, 1 unit selection there. Just want to make a note again about the units here. It's on a 0 to 10 scale. So there might be a bet that you have somewhere, hopefully, at some point in this Cricket World Cup, where you're going to have a 10 unit selection. That would be a rather big one, but this is just a 1 unit pick. Just before we move on, we are going to have a look at the top batsman market for Namibia. Is there anyone particularly in the Namibian market who would catch your eye there?
I mean, Wiese is obviously the standout star attraction in this Namibia side. Where he stands out is the fact that he's faced all of these world-class players in the franchise leagues elsewhere. But if I was going to put a bet up in this market, Steve, I would go for Gerhard Erasmus, the Namibia captain. He's a renowned, very good player of spin. And you're not going to profit too much against Sri Lanka if you can't play spin, because they're probably going to send 10 overs of spin down, perhaps, if not more. He scored 20 last year, which is good enough for second. Craig Williams top scored in that innings. I don't think he's here or likely to be in the projected starting 11s that I've seen. So, therefore, he was the top scorer of those that are going to be here. And this is his last World Cup, so I expect him to want to put a show on. And he's one of those players who will build up to his innings and then try and go big if he's still there at the end. I think he's fair value at 4-1, but I much prefer. I think the pattern of the play much prefers backing someone in the Sri Lanka market than the Namibia one.
Yeah, so no particular pick there, but you do have 3 selections for this particular match. So if you want to go through those again with us, Kevin, we will sign off.
Yeah, 3 points on David Wiese to clear a 30.5 performance target. That's 5-6 with Bet365. 2 points on Mahesh Theekshana to be the top Sri Lanka bowler. That's 7-2, pretty much general there. And you can get a range of prices on my friend Rajapaksa to be the top. By the time this tournament finishes, I'll get his name right. To be the top Sri Lanka batter, and that's a 1 point bet for that one. So 6 point stakes on the game. Hopefully, we get a couple of winners and start off in style.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, as I say, do follow us on the socials there at ASPPod, at KevSat, at Meatman Soccer, and also at KevSat Sports Bets. Check out Kev's site as well. As you can see there, all the links will be on the description below if you are watching on YouTube. But yeah, that's it for this particular first match preview. Enjoy your 5 a.m. wake-up call for this fixture. Kev, I don't know whether I'll join you or not, but maybe I will because it's the first one. But let's hope we can get off to a good winning start. I'd encourage everyone to check out our outright previews as well. But yeah, that's it from me. Any final words?
No, I think this is the game of the group, though, Steve. So if you are going to make a 5 a.m. wake-up call in this group, it is probably this one. It should be the pick of the 3.
Brilliant. So, okay, nice one. We will look forward to previewing some more games very soon. But thanks very much for watching. Take care, y'all. See you around soon. Goodbye.